Her mother absent-mindedly brings her daughter's food, and she'll eat it. Her mother tells her to keep her mouth shut because she'll record a video. It's a little odd, but her daughter throws a piece of her cake on the ground while her mother tells her fans that she'll do a quick video for them. She starts to record her little dance, and her daughter keeps tossing her food on the ground. She's still recording, and so her daughter stands up and tells her mother that she ate the whole thing. She quickly tells her dear fans that she'll come back shortly, and she drags her daughter and she told her before not to interrupt her. She doesn't want to hear any more from Edelweiss, so she sends her back to her room, takes a deep breath, and puts on that persona face up, ignoring her kid and going back to her dance and her fans. Mother and daughter are walking down the street and a homeless man stops Edelweiss, saying that she's very pretty. He can't believe she's all alone there, and he shows her the drawing that he's working on. He asks her if she liked it, and she finds it beautiful, thanking him for the gift. He can teach her how to do it herself, she just needs to go with him. That's when her mother notices that her daughter is not around, and she argues with both of them, that she told her daughter not to let go of her hand. He can explain what's happening to her, but she tells him that she'll call the police on him. Her daughter tells her not to do it, showing her that man's drawing. She finds it disgusting, tearing it apart and saying that she might catch something from it. The man tells her to just listen to him, that he'll explain everything. She doesn't want him going near her daughter anymore, so they leave. Her daughter needs to walk faster if she wants to go to the park. She gets very excited the moment she sets her feet in there, and she'll go on the swing. She goes all right, and her mother goes back to another video. She turns around angrily at her own daughter for always interrupting her and her videos, and she turns her back on her daughter after scolding her. Her daughter takes off as soon as she sits down, and she's mesmerized by her own beauty that she'll not have to add any filters on that. Her kid continues to run, and she stands up soon after, and she has no idea where Edelweiss is. Surprisingly, she starts to shout for her daughter, and she seems genuinely afraid for her daughter. She's very worried for her daughter, shouting her name to the four winds, but to no avail so far. She's looking, she's shouting, but Edelweiss is not to be seen or heard. She finally sees her daughter and she was so ahead that she tried to cross the street, but a car suddenly showed up. She was very lucky, and the moment her mother drags her back to the sidewalk she scolds her once again. She says that she was just playing, but her mother says that she'll never bring her to the park ever again, and she starts to drag her daughter back to their home. The mother is lying down on the bed, and her daughter asks for some money, that she'd like to buy some candy. She basically tells her daughter to piss off, that she doesn't have any money. She takes a couple of quarters instead, letting her mom know that she took them and that she'll buy some sweets for her. She tells her to stop annoying her, and so she goes and leaves the house looking for some sweets to buy. This woman almost looks like she's in a trance or something, where she doesn't pay attention to her kid, but at the same time freaks out whenever she realizes that she's not around. She starts to call for her daughter, but she's already in another place and she just found out some candy. She gets all happy and she starts to go back home. And that's when the woman goes out as well, shouting once again for her Edelweiss. She keeps going down the street and she goes and asks the other woman there if she saw her daughter, showing her a picture of her on her cell phone. She didn't see it, and the woman freaks even more now, considering her daughter to be lost. That was very odd, and the mother sees another passerby and asks the same thing. She tells her that she didn't see that girl, and so there she goes again, continuing her search for what she considers to be her missing daughter. She's far from the streets now and she just wants to find her daughter. She goes to a police station, and she asks for help because her daughter is missing. He slowly tells her good afternoon, telling her that she needs to calm down, that he needs her to calm down and tell him exactly what happened. She starts to tell him that her daughter was playing inside their home, and then she couldn't find her anymore. He asks her when was, and she tells him that it was a couple of hours ago, and she begs for him to help her. He tells her that they can only do something for her after 24 hours have passed, and she tells him that she's just a little girl, that she's only 9. That's why they tell parents to keep an eye on their children, and so she'll look for her by herself then. It looks like that she got lost, and she wonders where her mother is. She keeps on walking, and it looks like that someone got their eyes on her. He doesn't take his eyes off of her, and he sees that she's just right across the street. She starts to cry, saying that she wants her mommy. And the man quickly crosses the road and asks her if she's all right. Asking her if she remembers him from earlier. She got lost. And so he calls her little princess, telling her that he'll get her back to her home. She can't believe that he'll bring her back home, and he says that he will, so she goes with him. He takes her by the hand and he starts to knock at someone's door. It looks like that he got to the right house, and Edelweiss's mom starts to go to answer the gate. The first thing she says is asking that man what's he doing to her daughter. That she'll call the police on him, calling him filthy. Edelweiss says that he helped her, that she can't call the police on that mister. She can't believe that, and he tells her that he's not a bad person, and he would like to explain it to her. She asks him what happened then, and he tells her that there's an ill-intentioned guy that day, wearing nothing but black clothes, and that this man tried to snatch her daughter. She was distracted on her phone that day and didn't notice. That's why he pulled him in, but he wasn't trying to do any harm to her. She knows that she forgets about her daughter once she takes her phone, but she can assure you that this won't happen again. She forgives her mom, but she doesn't want to see her crying. She loves her very much. The man tells the woman to pay more attention to her daughter, that she's a pretty girl, a little princess who's very polite and sweet, and that the world is filled with bad people. She promises that she'll pay more attention to her daughter. She's very grateful for what this young man did for her, and he says it's nothing and starts to leave. Nothing can be more important than the love and care that parents have for their children. God gave them a big responsibility of taking care of and making them become good people.